now we are recording.
Hey guys, welcome to another day of the DarkMatch. It is me, the Revolver Man.
I am Magpie, Cuckoo Cuckoo.
I am Christopher Says.
And I am No Leaf Clover, and it's time for yet another edition of What is Iron Sheik Tweeting Now?
I'm going to guess something about Jews.
No, not about Jews. Quite different than Jews, actually.
Hulk Hogan sucking ass.
Kobe is still champion. He not cocksucker like that Tiger Woods.
Sheik, I have to tell you something. Tiger wasn't sucking cock. He was getting his sucked all the time.
Yeah.
Quite the difference.
Galaxy of whores at his disposal. Ugly whores, pretty whores, everyday whores.
You see some of those that came out of the closet? Holy crap, Tiger did not care as long as that mouth worked.
No.
Yeah, well, you know Tiger, he always likes to get a hole in one, so he had 3 holes to work with each whore.
Oh, God damn, we're starting off with a banner, fucking. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
I blame Sheik.
The
anyway,
show, but it's not raw.
This is, of course, our WWE Week in Review show, and as usual, we're going to kick it off by talking about Monday Night Raw. It was live from Knoxville, Tennessee. And
not Rock's birthday.
Yeah, thank Christ.
God.
Well, the show didn't start off with The Rock. It starts off with someone be like a little bit more than The Rock, actually, right now. Alberto Del Rio, as he makes his way to the ring while the show is starting. This has been like 2 straight weeks where like the show has been joined in progress pretty much.
Maybe it's because they can't afford to rent Alberto Del Rio cars, so they're like, okay, we'll just have you show up in the ring and then the show will start. So, yeah, cover up.
Yeah, they could have just given him a diamond-encrusted golf cart.
Wait, somebody get Kevin White, whatever the hell Chavo was under when he was doing the racist game.
Kerwin White.
Actually, if they ever do a gimmick where Alberto Del Rio goes broke, I bet he'll start driving into the arenas in like Fiats or Fiestas or like really shitty cars.
No, it's got to be a Pinto. It's got to be a Pinto.
And there's a Ford Pinto that didn't come out till 1978, and it's extremely flammable.
Fans, don't throw things at the bumper. It will blow up.
Yeah, this isn't a pyro effect, audience at home. Someone threw a cup of soda and it just went up.
Hey, you think he'll drive to the ring in a DeLorean? Quickly, Ricardo, we gotta go back to the future.
Okay, I would be a permanent Del Rio mark if he showed up with a DeLorean, like, during a pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he introduces himself, but we already know he's Del Rio, and he's, better than us. Well, I guess that's not his gimmick, but whatever. He says that it was his destiny, damn it, but his belt was stolen by Edge, which kind of was, I guess.
Yes, because winning a competitive match is stealing.
Distracted.
Fair enough.
If you want to just straight market, I mean, he also says that like about last Raw, we never addressed the fact that my destiny was screwed. Why did we waste so much time on The Rock? So in terms of him not having CM Punk's gimmick, him pointing out things that everyone else agrees with I think he's got the new stake in that.
Yeah. Let's waste lots of time with Maya singing and Pitbull annoying everybody and Mick Foley.
You know what? I told you all this was going to happen when The Rock comes back. But you were like, no, it's going to be awesome. No, he's going to waste our time, he's going to do nothing, and he's going to make sure John Cena has an 11-month title reign.
Okay, Sarah Connor, we get it.
That's going to happen, but let's not talk about that.
We get it, Sarah Connor. You predicted the future correctly. There's a war with machines.
But
I wish it was a war with machines because they have more charisma than The Rock now.
But to not address The Rock because he's not in this show, like even after that, Rey Mysterio comes out and he says, "Hey, guy, you have about as much. There's about as much of an argument for you to get a number one contender spot as there is for me. Like we both got drafted to Raw. We both have to work our way to the top. And the fact is, I feel that it isn't your destiny to win the title. It's your destiny to be the ring announcer of Ricardo Rodriguez." And Ricardo quite liked that. Yeah, he had a huge smile on his face at that.
Me? Be a star? Yes.
From what I hear, he's a good wrestler himself.
Oh, he actually is.
And
Chimera.
then The Miz comes out, and he's like, really?
Oh, Miz. You know...
Isn't that the same thing we say when we're hearing Cold Talk? Really? Really?
We'll get to Cole.
Oh, yes.
But before Alberto Del Rio says to Miz, you had your chance, you lost it. Miz says it was the referee's fault, he was a prejudiced dick, and it was Alex Riley's fault, he's an incompetent slob. He didn't know, like, when he was raising my hand that I had the belt in that hand, and I dropped it, and the referee was prejudiced, and he saw it, and he reversed the decision. I only used the belt because Cena was going to use it on me before I could. And as
a likely story.
Ray and you, Del Rio, you could just, I don't care, you could fight in the back lot of a Taco Bell. And sensitive Miz.
Yeah, we're very culturally sensitive these days.
What are you talking about? Taco Bell is a staple of the Mexican culture since... Oh, wait, no, it isn't.
I think they like to pretend it doesn't exist. This is what Americans think of us. We gave everybody diarrhea.
Ooh, well, speaking of things that give you diarrhea, R-Truth comes out and he honestly, no, it's dealing with the subject, not R-Truth. I like the way R-Truth is turning, even though he takes a long fucking time to bring what he's trying to say around. He's like,
let him enjoy being evil.
Oh yeah,
I mean, M. Bison didn't start off a powerful dictator. He needed to work his way into it.
Yeah, well, did anyone get a load of R-Truth's new music?
He didn't have music.
No, where it's basically just him saying, "The truth set me free," and then he comes out to no entrance music. He has a Tron, so that's probably a recording. Like, he didn't have a mic before he came out, as far as I remember.
I hope that's not his only theme. Like,
that would be weird.
Yeah,
it would be. It's either that or they retweak the lyrics. Retweak the lyrics to "What's Up." You know, people over there go die. I hate you and you're ugly. Go die.
I like that idea, Magpie. They should go with that.
You see me fronting, but you're not worth it. Go die. Now these ugly ass bitches I'm gonna ignore because tonight in the back I'm gonna fucking score with some divas.
Okay, Magpie, send that to WWE. They need to hear that. That freaking works.
Fuck that shit.
I fucked Diva about 80 times when she was managing me.
And two fellas at the time. Yeah, Danielson, they saw my American Dragon. What's up?
But yeah, like, he also has, like...
No idea.
His promo went thusly. He says, "You know what I hate? Hospital food. It's dry as a desert. It smells bad. And you know who's eating hospital food now? John Morrison. I took his ass out." Recap. Recap of his attack before, where he gave him 2 downward spirals or pay dirts or whatever you want to refer to it as. And
it's the finish. It's the finisher that you use when you don't have a finisher.
Yeah.
We'll call it insert name here finisher.
And he's like, "P.S. John Morrison, hospital food gives you constipation."
I love how insane this is coming off, but it works. It's not just pointlessly being weird.
He does eventually bring it around. He says, "The rest of you could all be hooked up to the same IV for all I care." He calls Miz a pretty boy from L.A. and also Kermit. Speaking of Eve. He calls a wannabe superhero from San Diego Captain America outfit WrestleMania. And he calls Ray Bottlenose. I don't even know what the hell that means.
Well, Well, San Diego got represented in that promo, so I'm glad. I like R-Truth now more.
Okay, and
because he bashed San Diego.
Then he calls.
Oh, he did? Fuck him.
But then he calls Del Rio. He calls Del Rio Mexican fence jumper. Literally. And we're starting to bend the line a little bit here.
Del Rio would Del Rio would buy his way into the country. I think if you want to use that insult, you use it towards Ray, but I digress.
Ray was born in America, though.
Well, I'm just saying, in terms of insults, it would make more sense to divert that to Ray, even though it's not true.
No, it wouldn't, because Ray is American. You don't want to turn this into Mexican-American.
I'm just saying, where you can fling the insult to, but whatever.
To end it all off, he says he's not going to wait around like he did the past 10 years. He's not gonna get rowdy. He's not going to dance around and say what's up. He's the only one who John Cena is going to face is him. It's the truth.
I'm glad he didn't say, I'm not going to be like your minstrel show or something, because I was worried he was going to start saying
I didn't even fathom that.
Well, the way, you don't think it was going that way, the way he was talking?
I mean, him saying, if you want to dead give it, him saying when an angry black man is talking, everyone needs to shut up, but he was skirting around the
I'm not gonna
issue
be
of it being
for you.
racist.
I'm not going to be singing for you. I'm like, holy shit, this is getting freaking racist.
Nation of Domination Part 2. This time, we rhyme better.
I hate R-Truth, but I would put him over in rapping skills much more than Jamie Dundee.
Nation of Domination 2.
My imitation.
Anyways.
Good job, Cookie Monster.
Anyways. Where were we? Oh, yeah.
The GM, rears his ugly, non-existent face towards us, and we get to hear the email which said, take it away, No Leaf.
Wait, why do I have to take it away?
Because I never pay attention when the GM talks, you know that. I go into a wonderful space.
Basically, it's fucking Michael Cole. He's talking, and he says, something, I'm a tool, I'm a douchebag, I have no idea why they keep pushing me. Oh yeah, by the way, there's going to be
I was 30.
Match.
What No Leaf means to say is that Michael Cole says, first competitor, Del Rio, second competitor, Miz, and then he says, as for the third competitor, we get the fucking ring again.
Because he was so excited he hit the send button too early. You want to bet that the GM is secretly whacking off to porn when he's trying to write these emails?
Like, was that minute and a half really?
And he used the boner to click send.
They couldn't dedicate.
Wait! I know who the GM is now. It's Johnny Ace.
No!
It's Johnny Ace. If we're talking about guys who are probably backstage whacking off to the fucking divas, who else would it be?
He's got a good point.
Well, then again, he's never stopped Michael Cole from interrupting their matches, so.
Well, he gets to look at him more. Wait, actually, that would kill his boner because Michael Cole's talking, so I'm surprised he hasn't interrupted him. So that eliminates Laurinaitis.
Well, the problem is, Cole talking could take away anybody's horny.
Oh yeah, just nail a chick and have Rob playing on the background as soon as Cole starts talking. Instant killer.
Magpie, right before the O face. Do-do-do. May I have your attention, please?
Sorry, honey, that doesn't happen. I understand it's Cole. I'm going to the bathroom.
Anyways.
We're not PG, by the way, listeners.
To keep this moving them right along, R-Truth is pissed because he doesn't get his opportunity, and he says that he's better than everyone, especially Ray. And Ray basically says, "Truth, you know what? I agree with the general manager. You shouldn't be in the match, and that's what's up, and that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth."
Jack Nicholson's the GM.
His retorts are fairly textbook babyface. Either that or Rey Mysterio doesn't really have a lot on his back to say. But He delivered it all right.
Mm-hmm. And then Miz tells Del Rio and Ray that it doesn't matter what they accomplish or what they didn't do on SmackDown. They need to learn that on Raw, they are the day labor. What is with all the racist jokes on this fucking show this week? They're the day laborers and the chump change and the bench warmers.
Bench warmers.
Because he's the star of the show. Because the star of the show and the next WWE champion is. And Ricardo jumps in and says, Alberto Del Rio.
I like that.
That was pretty damn funny.
No, this part coming up is my favorite.
I like that whole Miz thing because it really puts over how much of an egotistical jerk he is, and I really love the timing with Ricardo Rodriguez. He's really growing on me. It probably helps that he kind of looks like what's his name from Fantasy Island, the midget guy.
Oh, Tattoo,
thank you.
The guy who was also in The Man with the Golden Gun. I digress.
Yeah, I think a part of his comedic timing, like he did with his interruption, is come his time in Shikara, and because Shikara is a company that takes its wrestling serious, but it's super funny. And
seriously,
he's
but
hilarious
super
in
funny,
it.
Magpie. That doesn't sound like a contradiction in the least.
You got to see Shikara. Anyone who hasn't seen Shikara, buy their DVDs, check out their stuff.
Well,
and
after all that,
shameless plug.
Alex Riley ends up attacking Del Rio, but Rodriguez throws a pretty fucking looking dropkick. I was like, holy shit.
That actually looked like a super kick. I thought it was just some kind of like high kick with one leg, but maybe I saw it wrong. Either way.
I thought it was a dropkick.
That looked really good.
Yeah.
Especially considering that he's wearing the freaking tuxedo. It's got to restrict your movement.
Yeah.
He likes to kick ass in style.
And,
Does that mean we get a match? The battle of the bitches. Alex Riley versus Ricardo Rodriguez. To who is the superior bitch?
Rodriguez is not a bitch. Rodriguez is not a bitch. Actually, that's kind of interesting because Del Rio kind of treats him far better than Miz treats Alex Riley.
Yeah, really.
You got a point. I didn't think of that.
So basically, it breaks down to a big brawl, and then Ray hits a plancha on Del Rio on the floor, and then we go to commercial. We come back. We get a quick recap of Kharma giving the implant buster to Maurice, and the first match.
Seriously, to echo what our fellow co-host Jinga said a while ago, they're putting some serious effort in getting Kharma, whatever you want to call her, over.
Yeah, they're using her the way that she's usually used in every other Fed before she really gets established, and it's good.
As kind of blasphemous as this says, I think we can thank Triple H as taking over the talent relations for him to recognize how the fuck to actually use somebody.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, good for you, Triple H.
I think either he or Stephanie.
Can you imagine what her outfit would be if Laurinaitis was still in charge?
Oh god, she'd be shimmering. It would have like pink tassels and.
She looked like a second Glamazon.
But she did that in Japan though, with the what was it the Erica.
She did it with
Ozzy.
That was in Hustle. That doesn't count.
I guess so, but
Hustle doesn't count. That's like
I'm just hoping this whole thing, and I think it is going to do it because they're treating it right, where they have Kong just manhandle the weaker divas, and then I think it's what's going to come down to because Kelly's been getting away from the attacks, which we'll go into later. I think it's going to come down to Khan's eventually going to get the Divas belt, which he should because, let's face it, that thing's useless. Make it important again, and then Kelly's like, you know what, guys, I'm sick of running. I'm going to try. She's going to get her ass kicked, as that's going to happen, and then Beth Phoenix is going to come out. It's fucking on.
They're not going to put Beth Phoenix in. They have no faith in Beth Phoenix, I heard.
Well,
ever since she got hurt right before that big angle with Mickie James back in the day, apparently they've just never had any confidence in her.
Oh, I'm just hoping it's going to be a resurgence. Just like, oh, Beth, Kong, it's fucking on.
Well, the first match of the night is Nikki and Brie Bella versus Eve Torres and Kelly. Oh, I like Kelly.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know what? I really have to say this. Kelly. Now this will get me freaking hate mail, but she's becoming the next Trish Stratus.
No,
she's not the next. She's not the next Trish. I think she's
Hear no leaf out.
Well,
not no leaf. Revolver Man out. She was
absolute when she first debuted back in ECW. She was less than useless. I mean, she was the exhibitionist who couldn't get her bra off. Even more than that, a woman who can't get her bra off.
But I like how Kelly shows that she's actually trying, and I can see hints of improvement within her work. Yeah, but she needs to expand her moveset repertoire, but for the most part, she actually is getting better, so that's an example of somebody I can see.
I strongly recommend that they do some way to get her to change her name, because as much as better than Kelly is over her real name, it's still incredibly stupid to hear.
No, but see, like, if Kelly has improved, then the difference between her and Trish Stratus is that it's taken her 5 years, whereas with Trish, it was like about a year and a half.
No.
Yeah.
It was like 2.5 years or something.
Oh, 2.5 years. Well, then
at least 3 years before she started to do serious wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish good things for Kelly. If you show you want to be there and try to improve your work, which he legitimately has been doing, and I'll take any heat if anybody wants to debate on me with this, but she has shown improvement and she is getting better. Is she a Sarah Del Rey? Hell no, but she's getting better. So if she keeps improving, I wouldn't mind pushing her to like getting a belt or something.
Well, either way, like this match wasn't much. It was kind of standard fare, even without Cole interrupting him. Like my favorite spot was actually involved Kelly, where she does that multiple rotation head scissors. I usually don't like that move. I don't think it's very believable, but I thought she pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah.
And then basically, Kelly and Eve Torres win, and after they won the match, Kharma's music hits, and she
dun 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 dun.
And she comes to the ring with Eve and Kelly. Eve and Kelly are stuck in the ring. The Bellas are like cowering behind the fucking ring,
as they
not get beat up. And then the whole time, I was practically screaming, "Yes, please beat up the Bellas! Please beat up the Bellas!" But no, she doesn't beat up the Bellas. The Bellas get away.
Spared the pleasure.
Yeah.
She attacks Torres after Torres actually tried. I think, is this the first time someone actually tried to fight Kharma?
No, Alicia Fox did, and she got her shoulder separated.
But Eve's the first person that was competent enough to like, okay, maybe I can handle her.
Well, plus they gave her a less awkward spot for her experience. Like she had a winning clothesline rather than a leg trap.
It's probably good that Kong didn't hit her with a Stan Hansen level freaking lariat and almost kill her like she did with freaking what's her name? I can't even remember her name. I feel bad.
Useless Claude.
Alicia Fox, thank you. And Magpie, just because she's an internet darling doesn't mean she wasn't at fault.
Huh? What? Who? Where? When? Why? Oh, no, I was just saying she was uncoordinated Claude. I'm not commenting on it. It was an accident. It was an accident.
Okay. Either way, after all the Eve gets the implant buster eventually, Kelly runs away, and I guess this might bring merit to the fact that divas are only out for themselves, but the Eve's charged for that. But hey, either way you look at it, Kane joins Big Show on his way to or Big Show joins Kane on his way to the ring before the commercial starts, and we have our next match. Mason Ryan, accompanied by CM Punk, wrestles Kane, accompanied by Big Show. And to talk about this match, I was enjoying it until it fucking broke down into chaos, which tends to happen with Nexus and Core matches. I actually think Mason Ryan has some promise. He was doing well with Kane.
I wouldn't say...
for a jacked-up bodybuilder, he's okay.
Yeah. Guys, we forgot something. Did you know that WWE has a lot of Facebook fans? Did you know that nobody gives a shit about those stupid little bumpers?
Stop stroking your ego. We get it. You're number one. You do a lot of things. Fuck.
It isn't high school. No one cares how many Facebook friends you have.
Oh, yeah, and Kelly happens to be on the list of 100 most beautiful women, and we have to show Natalie Portman.
Stop pimping that shit.
Do we have to? Yes, we get it. You want to be an entertainment company. You want to seem like you have pop culture, but referencing other celebrities doesn't make you pop culture. You're a wrestling promotion, goddammit.
Freaking
At any rate, let's get back to the match. I was gonna say I'm not sure Mason Ryan did well because he does not know how to sell a punch. He can't sell a punch. He whipped on some
he's a big guy
from fucking Kane.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy, but so is Kane. You're supposed to sell for Kane no matter what you are. Hell, Undertaker sells for Kane.
Well, maybe my judgment's clouded, but nonetheless, I felt Mason Ryan did a better job than Wade Barrett on Friday.
We'll get to that.
Even the fact that that match went on longer on Friday. I really do. I was entertained.
Well, basically what happens is the match breaks down, and Punk attacks Kane, and then Punk gets knocked out by Show, and the other members of the Nexus come down, but Kane and Show basically dominate them all, and then it ends with Kane and Show double choke slamming Mason Ryan. It's kind of a weird segment because it seemed like it wasn't really going anywhere. Ugh.
Yeah, but when it comes to the core and New Nexus, they never go anywhere.
Oh, well.
Yeah, New Nexus.
Oh, we'll get to the core.
Those whores.
You mean the New Nexus? Because that was the core.
Same thing. Different name and lame. Both lame equally.
Well, once again, I think they why the hell was after the breakup and that 5-minute spot in WrestleMania freaking how many months ago now? There's been absolutely fuck all between the core and Nexus.
Forget it's not happening.
I have. It's like they basically had a ready-made feud, and they're just like, no, let's have Nexus job to Randy Orton. Let's have the core do absolutely fucking nothing on SmackDown.
At the same time, though, we have to be glad about this because do we really want to see a group match with all these dudes in there where they're inevitably going to have Ezekiel Jackson go up against Mason Ryan, Heath Slater would go up against let's say the fat one.
We're gonna take it down, Nexus.
It would suck. That's my point. Except for maybe 2 guys, the 3.
At any rate, we go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, Santino gets the jobber entrance, and Vicky Guerrero interrupts to introduce the new and improved, allegedly, Dolph Ziggler.
Who now, along with his brown hair, has a conspicuous tan.
And wears black trunks.
And let me ask you a fucking question. If you're gonna give your wrestler a tan and introduce that as his new gimmick, new and improved, why would you dye his hair blonde? Why would you have juxtapose brown hair with a tan? Makes no sense.
I don't know what the fuck they're thinking with Dolph Ziggler. Seriously.
I mean, he's getting wins though, so I think they want to push him as a more serious. But it's not like his heel persona was cartoonish.
No,
he was just right, cocky asshole who happens to be really good at what he does.
The slip. What?
I mean, Ziggler was probably the.
I have a striking suspicion that they're going to try to turn him into some kind of MMA. Well, not MMA, but kind of grappling fighting god or something.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad because of his. That wouldn't be too bad in a sense because of his Greco-Roman background in amateur wrestling. So I can see him having the skill set to do it.
I actually find it kind of ironic though because he did a spot he did the Fireman's Carry takeover to Santino. Usually Santino does that to people.
Well, my problem with it is that they made him into the most generic.
That's exactly it. Thank you,
wrestler ever. He's got no. He doesn't have a great gimmick. He's just blah.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, the change is even worse because when he had his blonde hair and when he was a lot more cocky and braggadocio, they didn't even give him the mic enough. They didn't let him establish that before he changes into whatever the hell this new persona is.
And straight up, he was one of the best he was probably the best Intercontinental Champion we've had in a long time.
But yeah. If this match had one satisfying thing, Santino threatens a Cobra and Dolph just drop kicks the fuck out of him. Just bats that shit away.
Anyway, it should be no surprise that Santino jobs here.
Yes, but...
Oh no, whatever will he do?
Somehow Santino's still over than almost all the roster.
But yeah, get over that.
It's the little things that make you confused about wrestling. Like how someone like Santino could be fucking over like that with his unibrow, his stupid tattoos, his dumb face, the Rimmer salute drop. But it works, I guess. It really does.
I guess it. Yeah, but Santino
The
doesn't
stereotypes get over.
Yeah. Santino doesn't win. Dolph Ziggler gets a win, but no one cares because they took everything remotely interesting about Dolph. I knew this was going to happen when he went to Raw. This is just what they do. They build up on. SmackDown is a lot better about building up a guy's character, giving them a gimmick, letting them kind of run with it. They don't do that on Raw. They want you to have whatever they want. He looks like fucking Randy Orton's little brother.
Yeah, and a month down the line, Vince McMahon is gonna say to himself, "We had the surefire formula with him. Why is he not getting over as a heel? Oh well, better go for his brother, Briley Pierce." Briley.
That's probably the greatest. You probably just summed it up so perfectly about how one of the biggest problems WWE has. If you don't get over with their cookie-cutter set gimmicks, it's always your fault. It's not the fact that this gimmick is overused, overplayed, and nobody wants to see it anymore.
Yeah, they're very
don't have the right idea.
They're very much stuck in their ways and arrogant about how they handle, like, oh, every character we create is fucking great, and every name we think of is awesome. Like Abraham Washington, that's gonna be a name that's gonna get over.
And when it doesn't, it's always the talent's fault. It's never the booker's fault. It's never the writer's fault.
And you know what I hate about that? That's pretty much Russo's go-to excuse.
Straight up, dude. No kidding.
And that's, if you're using something out of Russo's playbook, you need to start changing shit.
Yeah, like, I don't remember what it was, but if TNA went out of business, he's gonna blame Joe, he's gonna blame Motor City Machine Guns, he's gonna blame all those guys for the fuck-ups he did.
Well, let's not talk about Vince Russo, because...
Yeah, let's get off Vince Russo, but I want to say this. Out of all the top guys, like probably the top heel right now, I'd have to say are The Miz and Alberto Del Rio. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
I'd throw Punk up there, too, but the way Punk's being presented...
Yeah, Punk is an even better example.
Oh, yeah, speaking
None
of...
of these guys are generic. I mean, Del Rio's... How often, in this day and age in America, how often do you see the rich Mexican, honestly, in any form of media?
And actually, speaking of Del Rio, like, he's actually been saying a lot of the same shit week after week, and surprised how long he's sustaining it.
Well, it's the presence, because going back to The Rock, back when he was still good, he always said the same shit, too. But it's his presence.
It's the way he said it, and he was just being himself.
We're kind of going off on a tangent, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Tangent counter.
They
Right.
pretty much...
I'll sum this up with my point. Their top three heels are all unique, and nobody else copies them. And so when they start copying heel traits and putting them on three different guys and wondering why they never get over, it just seems foolish.
Yeah.
But they dedicate the next portion of the show to Christian's title win and eventual loss, which...
Oh, God. Yes.
Let's not start another 20-minute conversation.
Yeah. Let's move past this part quickly.
Yeah, we'll be here for another 3 hours.
But,
Anyway, so jumping over that, we have R-Truth walking around the building while he's listening to something on his headphones. And I honestly
1,000 Miles by Nora Jones.
I am really getting worried that he's going to turn into like something from the Nation of Islam or something.
no, see, I thought it was pretty stupid because he was like angrily like mouthing whatever lyrics they were having to himself, and
I thought he was talking.
thing was like King was like that guy, he's so crazy, he's talking to himself.
No, I thought that was supposed to be the point, that he was talking to himself.
But he had headphones on.
So he was talking to himself while he had headphones on. Okay.
But basically Scott Stanford, the new interviewer extraordinaire, and believe me, I'm not being sarcastic about this. I like Scott Stanford. he goes up and he says that he's what's up, R-Truth, and R-Truth says, you know what, Scott? I've been getting letters from angry parents who is saying, come on, Truth, sing what's up, dance around. Little Ronnie doesn't like seeing you like this. And
Ronnie? Where'd little Jimmy go?
Jimmy, no!
R-Truth said deuces to little Jimmy, and now he's worried about little Ronnie. Sorry, I'm skirting around the berserk button, but
no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
But R-Truth says, Del Rio, Miz, Mysterio, you'll get your comeuppance.
He's gonna make a muffins?
Comeuppance.
Oh. We should make muffins. Those are better.
R-Truth starts throwing muffins at people in the ring.
Oh, muffins. Hey, these are oatmeal. Ha ha, I told you I was a heel.
No. Chocolate muffins, but it's chocolate laxative muffins.
Now that would be the shit. Both literally
but I'm dick. Okay, let's move on.
We have a small segment where Zack Ryder is fist pumping with John Cena, and Cena's like, yeah, that's it, fist pump, and he starts walking away towards God only knows.
Is Ryder still a heel? I don't know with him anymore.
He's a tweener as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
We love the dude. That show he does is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but I really don't know if he's supposed to be heel because, yeah, he's doing the Jersey Shore gimmick, which most people despise, but he's so freaking funny about it.
He's just a cool guy who's living out his dream. Like, I was watching the podcast, the Cole Cabana podcast, where Evan Bourne was on there, and he was talking about how, dude, Zack Ryder loves to be in there, man. He actually, for his friends, he paid the company money to actually make action figures of his friends so that way they could play with it. And I'm like, that guy enjoys being there, and he loves it, dude. So he puts his full enthusiasm in there, and I can admire that.
Yeah. I agree. Anyways, after that, we get another commercial break, and then when we come back, we get the hook back to the absolutely retarded Miz Cena match where the ref reverses his decision. The first time ever in WWF/WWF history that I've ever seen a ref reverse his decision all the way to giving it back to somebody rather than just a restart.
That never happened before.
I mean...
Yeah, they don't.
So, like MMA, WWE really needs to codify whatever the fuck the rules are.
Oh, hey, MMA makes a point about it. It's the judges who fuck it up sometimes, but that's another discussion.
Yes, but seriously, they really need to codify these things because we seriously have no idea what the hell they can do or what they can't do.
At any rate...
where were we?
Yeah, Miz is backstage all pissed. Riley's trying to explain how he thought he had it all timed and that he didn't realize that Miz had the title in his hands when he raised it. Well, shouldn't have Miz realized that and let go and kicked it away or something?
Well, that's not the point. Miz is just being like a typical douchey, heel guy. It's all Riley's fault. He didn't have anything to do with it. I get it.
Yeah, true enough. Fair. That makes sense. Anyways, so Miz is tearing into Riley. Riley's apologizing, and Miz won't have any of it. Miz is like, why do I even keep you around? Basically, setting up the breakup, and I guess a Riley face turn.
But no, they're the best couple in the WWE. Why are they going to break up?
Well, it'll be drawn out like the whole Maurice Ted DiBiase thing.
Oh,
well, Ted DiBiase has money, so he can afford that Canadian. Wait, is she Canadian or French?
Actually, the Canadian dollar's stronger, but.
Well, still, she can.
I have to say, I'm much more interested in Miz and Alex Riley than Ted DiBiase and Maurice, though.
You're right.
Yeah.
But this gets.
It's because Alex is a more. He's just a better attentive wife than Maurice. Or girlfriend, whatever.
God damn it, Magpie!
Yeah, you're dragging this analog through the mud, aren't you?
Let's move on.
I'm into Maurice also, Arrow. Anyway, moving on.
Wow. Anyways, Riley Miz asks Riley how stupid he can get, and then Riley apologizes, and basically Riley says he's gonna make it up to the Miz. He's gonna make it up to the Miz right now, and just watch me. So Riley walks around the backstage area, and he comes out.
Around the backstage area, and he walks around the backstage area.
Shut up.
This was drawn out.
Yeah.
Department of Redundancies department.
But Riley makes his way out into the arena, and basically Riley is an idiot and calls out John Cena. Does he not know who John Cena is?
He's John Cena, bitch.
He's got merch powers, buddy. Unless you're fighting him in a nude match, you got no chance.
I think Riley would like to fight him in a nude match, but let's not indulge his fantasies.
God damn it, once again, Magpie must be from San Francisco this week.
But that doesn't make it Alex Riley a bad person. I'm just saying he has an interest. Moving on.
Anyways, do we really need to explain what happens in the John Cena versus Alex Riley match?
You know who wins.
Yeah, I think the only offense that Alex Riley got in was a few punches and a clothesline.
And he got to show off his Letterman jacket. Wait, was
he just got 5 moved.
Yeah.
You've been
John
Cena, motherfucker.
Cena kicks the crap out of him and then does poses to insult the Miz or something, I don't know.
Basically, Riley loses. John Cena wins. And that's it. That's all we see.
Flawless victory.
Alright, we go to commercial, and guess what? We should talk more about the commercials, because guess what happens after the commercials?
What?
Michael Cole, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Once again, Vince's pet gimmick, Angle, whatever you want to call it, talks about how he's undefeated.
His personal hand puppet.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Seriously,
Anyway,
Vince has his hand so far up. I'm not going to finish that because,
yes, stop it, Magpie. Jesus Christ.
I was going to make a puppet joke, but then I heard it in my head.
You're learning.
It's called a filter. Put one between your brain and your mouth.
Hey, I have a mouth cannon, and they don't call me Magpie for
Yeah, Magpie. You do that and delicious coffee comes out.
Oh, we're stalling, and we can't be stalling because he's dead now. Cole says that after kicking Jerry Lawler's butt again, he cannot get any higher. And quite frankly, I wish I was high right now. So after much deliberation, he's going to retire with his perfect record.
Don't pause. Let's get through this shit as fast as we can.
Okay. So after that,
dwell on it.
We have to do this.
He wants to be known as an announcer and the only ever WWE undefeated in-ring competitor when he's inducted into the Hall of Fame. Lawler comes in, and apparently that stipulation where he can't beat up Cole is still standing. I'm not exactly sure what they can threaten him now, but whatever.
I'm just gonna be sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after that, Lawler shows off probably the only good thing that Rock has done recently, and he beat the shit out of Cole for being a Celtics fan, which I'd like to add. The Heat were able to win. So.
Yeah, exactly. He pretty much provided that push.
Yes. The rock bottom led to the Heat taking out the Celtics in 5 games.
Go Heat, bitch.
Anybody else want to continue on? I really don't want to talk about
Well,
Cole.
let's see. I'll try to do it fine print way. Lawler says...
come on, guys. I already
puked
out my punch.
If he was ever inducted in the Hall of Fame, whose life would cease to exist. If Cole could defeat him again, Lawler says he would personally induct Cole in the Hall of Fame and give him his Hall of Fame ring.
Wait. They're ripping off TNA with the Hall of Fame ring.
Let's not address that. Let's not go into TNA. That'll take 50 minutes.
Yeah, we'll bring up two things that make us sick at one time.
And Cole says, no, I'm being a troll. I'm going to retire as an undefeated superstar. You won't be able to eke that win out of me because you'll probably stip it that Swagger can't be at ringside and blah, 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 blah. He says, you're in Tennessee. You can't acknowledge the fact that Al Gore lost to George Bush or that Elvis died of the toilet, which, by the way, Lance Storm brought that up. Like, I remember he cut a heel promo at one point where he was like, America glorifies Elvis who died in a toilet, blah, blah, blah. Cole says he spent Mother's Day watching the WrestleMania DVD with his mother, and they enjoyed watching him kick Lawler's ass. And he says, what did you do with your mother on Mother's Day? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, your mother died.
No, just keep going, because I'm about to lose my fucking mind. Or it's fucking
Oh, God.
And he says, oh, I'm so insensitive it slipped my mind. Your mother died in February. Lawler's about to reach into the coal mine and slap the shit out of Cole, but Swagger stops him and lays...
Same old shit.
And we lead into our next match, which I actually thought was, again, like, entertaining for its time. It was a U.S. title match between Kofi and Jack Swagger. And unlike a lot of other of Kofi's matches, which, as Jenga says, he reminds him of RVD, where he very much showboats and hits his spectacular spots. He didn't do a lot of that. He hit the Trouble in Paradise, but it was more of like an out of nowhere capacity. A lot of what Kofi was trying to do was basically like outsmarting Swagger, countering all his shit, taking and like allowing Swagger to pretty much hurt himself.
It was a good match. Just there's my only thing I have to complain about it was at times Swagger seemed a little sloppy. Like there's a spot where he's going for the ankle lock, but Kofi rolls himself out, and then Jack Swagger's kind of stumbling around a bit. Like, it was a good match, but there's some times where Swagger just felt a little awkward in his movements.
I mean,
although good match, though, quality.
Best. I don't think Swagger's the best worker. Like, he's average to above average, but like, I really haven't counted anything I've seen.
He's another one of those guys who kind of like rested on his laurels because he's kind of athletic and he doesn't really have to do a whole lot because he's pretty much set, you know. He does a lot of things well, but I don't see him as a guy who has, like, the drive to take it to the next level.
All right, yeah, let's just sum it up in one sentence. His World Heavyweight Championship pretty much ruined any build-up for him as a credible competitor.
Yes,
yeah, because we can't have champions be treated as credible threats or, you know, challenges or strong people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to put him against fucking Undertaker.
And we can't develop them before we give them the fucking belt.
I really have to say, it's sad that Swagger got the belt and kind of ruined himself all because they want to punish freaking Drew McIntyre. And for whatever reason, they never want to have a Money in the Bank winner lose. It's very strange about that.
Yeah, well, wait till Daniel Bryan wins this year.
Don't say things like that.
I'm kidding. No, believe me, I don't want him to get the belt.
It could happen.
Okay, I'll stop. We'll talk about a better angle of his next in the next discussion.
Anyways, after the match,
to discuss the finish, basically Swagger got distracted by Lawler and he turns around to the Trouble in Paradise 3 count. And
it ended.
Oh my God. It's incredible. I was pretty much enjoying Raw, warts and all, until this Cole shit started up again.
We don't fucking care about Michael Cole. We don't care. It's not controversy creating cash. It's just we don't give a shit. We don't care anymore.
Unless Lawler brings a gun to next week's Raw and shoots Cole, nobody's going to give a shit about this angle.
I say chainsaw.
Chainsaw's hard to hide, though.
Yeah, who cares? At this point, he could just come up with a ramp. The crowd would pop so loud once that got close to him, it would be like Resident Evil 4.
I was thinking more Left 4 Dead, but you guys don't play that game.
Left 4 Dead's fucking awesome.
Anyway, so after that, we have post-match shenanigans. Lawler throws out Swagger. He's in the crowd. He's gone. Then, I don't freaking remember anymore. Something about Cole and his mind and...
What, you don't remember that? What, the thing that pretty much spawned a hell of a lot of parody gifs? Where he,
I'll let you guys explain it because my head's starting to hurt.
well, basically, Lawler attempts again to get into the coal mine and attack Cole, but he's preventing it from happening.
I am sorry to interrupt you, and I'm sorry to go back on my head hurt. I want to point out, why does everybody have such problems getting into the coal mine?
Just climb over the top.
It's like
Piece of plastic
above a normal person's height. I mean, some of these guys could probably jump into it.
We don't care.
Yeah, just
don't care. We don't care. No nos importa.
But anyway,
don't care.
King throws a sliding chair in the coal mine, and then he takes Cole's tie through that little send item hole, and he pushes him towards the glass and presses his face against it in an image both disturbing and funny.
Think about that face when you're with your lady next time, viewers.
Oh, and also think of the fact that like he grabbed his tie and he kind of
he jerked him off into the wall.
And he grabbed his tie and dragged him by the neck. Does that not remind you of something?
Looney Tunes cartoon?
No.
Remember, Daniel Bryan, forward, not back. Forward, not back.
Who cares? It's the same damn thing.
Anyways, main event time.
So nobody gives a shit.
Good main event time, by the way.
Yeah, that was a solid main event, man.
Yeah, the main event was Alberto Del Rio versus Miz versus Rey Mysterio in a #1 contendership match. Very, very, very good match.
Yeah, everyone looked strong. They pulled off their moves. There was a moment where this guy dominated and that guy dominated, and they were smart about things, and it was great. It made all three of those dudes look awesome.
I mean, the spot in the beginning pretty much set the tone of it, where Rey was running towards Miz, and then Miz just throws him up, and Rey ends up kicking Del Rio in the face. It was very, very impressive. And speaking of Daniel Bryan, in the midst of it, Miz put like a cravat hold on Rey, which I think he learned that from his matches with that, like almost as if he's developing from it.
Yeah, I really always said about
as wrestler, get out of town.
I mean, I really stated out many times that of the series of matches that Miz and Bryan Danielson had, it really rubbed off on Miz and helped him improve his overall in-ring work.
It was good for everybody, although they kind of forgot about Daniel Bryan, and that's sad.
Yeah, well,
Danielson will rise again.
No, we'll see. He's not Chavo yet. He's not Trent Beretta yet.
His career hasn't been killed like Tyson's.
Damn it.
Well, anyway, after that, Miz wins, so we're going to see another Miz match. Then Cena comes out and announces what kind of match we'll be having at the next pay-per-view. Fellas?
I quit, which is exactly what happened with Batista last year.
Yep.
So, you know what I would love to see? I'd love to see Miz break out the duct tape. And then Cena's just like, oh shit. But that's not going to happen because Cena needs to hold the belt to WrestleMania.
Well, I still don't think that's going to happen. I think Del Rio has more of a chance of winning it, or like in the midst of this.
That'd be cool if Del Rio got the belt eventually. That way we could see a new face on the. That we get to see a new face in the title picture.
I mean, maybe he might even exchange it with Rey before someone eventually drops it to Cena, either in Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber or something like that.
Or the new pay-per-view, False Count Anywhere. It's coming.
Our new type of match, tornado tag, or single with no ref.
This Sunday, tornado tag.
Ah, man. Let's move on to SmackDown.
All right.
Wait, we didn't talk about the evil R-Truth attacking Rey. Oh, we just did. Let's move to SmackDown.
Yes, SmackDown.
So we start off with Christian talking about the title loss.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man, I don't want to be reminded of things that disappoint me.
Once again, another person sacrificed to the Church of Orton.
And
Not blaming Orton, but moving on.
yeah, I'm not blaming Orton. It's not his fault. They put the belt back on him.
Orton's awesome. It's just a stupid decision made by people in charge. But let's not get into it.
Revolver Man doesn't like Orton, so
No, I don't. To the point that my colleagues are scared of my hatred of Orton.
Scared of Revolver Man? Really?
no one is scared. No one is scared of Canadians.
Yeah, he doesn't have the strike the fear in your heart type of vibe.
No, I'm not going to make that joke. I'm not going to make that joke.
Anyways.
Awkward silence.
Christian comes out. He's talking about what it meant for him to be the World Heavyweight Champion, and everybody's talking about Teddy Long's decision to let the WWE Universe choose a number one contender. And Christian says his peeps were not happy with that decision, and that he respects it. But he thinks he deserves his rematch. He congratulates Orton, and says, basically he says he's gonna try and get his rematch at Over the Limit. And then this is weird because this is like the third show in a row that this has happened, where a bunch of guys come down to the ring and claim that they should be the number one contender. I mean, let's look at this. It happened last week on SmackDown. It happened this week on Monday Night Raw. And now it's happening again on SmackDown.
Well, WrestleMania Backlash with two title changes in it, so naturally...
Yeah, I guess that kind of opens up the picture.
I guess so.
Although, the real joke is that, guess who one of these people is?
Somebody's gonna get their ass kicked.
Dun, dun.
Well, what I like about both of them is that they're pretty much trolls to Christian. They're like, oh, we love seeing you win it, and then lose the fucking thing 2 days later.
That's 5 days later. Gotta keep kayfabe.
Yeah. So it's Mark Henry and Sheamus basically come out to berate Christian. And
Yin and Yang tag team.
Yeah,
I mean, if you ever wanted a more stark contrast between two people, talk about Ebony and Ivory.
WWE, if you're listening to this podcast, which you probably aren't, put those two in a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, but then the climax would be Mark Henry sitting on somebody while Sheamus blinds somebody with a flashlight.
Or just takes off his shirt. Ah, it's too bright!
I swear to God, Sheamus must have like some kind of allergic reaction to the sun or something.
He has said in interviews that if he goes in the sun or if he tries to tan, he just burns, so he just stopped trying.
And it shows. It shows. Well, fair enough. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't have to worry about him. I don't have to worry about running into him in my hometown.
Yeah. So basically, Sheamus says that maybe, the people didn't, Mark Henry says the people didn't come here to see Christian. They came to see Mark Henry. And Sheamus basically is like, yeah, that's bullshit. But you know what they probably did come to see? A handicap match with us versus him. They start to beat down on Christian, and then Randy Orton comes out to make the save.
I hear voices in my head.
I found that a little weird. Are they like changing his "I'm a heel but I get cheered" gimmick or something? Because I don't recall him ever coming out to save anybody before.
I mean, they want to make him like the fucking Cena of SmackDown, so it makes sense. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because
right. We understand.
Yeah. But they want to make him the number one guy, so he's gonna do slightly more face-ish things, which might finally get people to stop fucking bitching about the fact that he's a heel playing a face. Well, there you go. He did something face-like. Shut the fuck up.
I'm you know what? I just how much I hated the guy, but I have to say, I'm very interested to see if the fans like really eat up a more face like Randy, or they're just gonna go fuck that.
Yeah.
And, like, reject it.
It's pretty much the first time anything like this has happened, because like he hasn't said anything about him being mentally ill within the last week or tonight. He certainly didn't say that to Christian.
That SmackDown was such a calm place that it helped soothe mental problems.
Yeah, Orton doesn't see the snuffleupagus anymore.
I realized it. It's blue. Blue is a calming color. Red is an aggravating color. Am I wrong?
Or he just beat Christian. He's like, wow, this was easy. I guess I don't have to put up such a facade anymore.
Wow, this guy's pathetic. I can act like myself around here.
So anyway, we go to commercial. When we come back, Teddy Long is in the hallway. You see the camera pan, and he's talking to Orton and Christian. And Teddy basically says, tonight the main event is going to be a tag match between Mark Henry and Sheamus versus Christian and Randy Orton. Teddy leaves, and Christian says, "Thank you for helping me out." And Randy's like, he has his own reasons for coming out to help Christian. He was like, you said that if you had been on 100%, that you could beat me at a one-on-one match at Over the Limit. Well, I want you at 100%, so I can beat you at Over the Limit. I was like, that's an effective way to do that.
That's a great way to put face versus face.
Yeah.
He basically just said you better not have any excuses.
Yeah.
Which unfortunately means unfortunately if Christian loses, it's really gonna hurt him.
I just hope it's gonna be one of those. They're gonna start doing face versus faces matches and take them more seriously, because you can really do those. Just have them be like, I want to be the best. No, I want to be the best.
The match they had last week when unfortunately Christian lost the title, that was like a 4-star match. That was a really, really good match. So clearly these two are capable of having a great back and forth face versus face match.
Yeah.
I agree entirely. Like, I always find the mindset that face versus face is bad is wrong. I mean, that's very true for heel versus heel, but I think it's very easy to book two faces to fight each other without wanting them turning eventually heel.
Oh yeah, it's easy. Look at ROH.
Especially Christian, and it is probably the works in the same favor for them, because Christian and Randy Orton have a lot built up with them, so that even if the fans, like, it doesn't have to be an angle with the fans, and they don't have to. There's not someone they have to cheer and someone they have to boo. It's still
right. It's just two dudes wrestling in the ring. I want to be the best. You want to be the best. Let's see who's going to do it and take it in the ring. I mean, ROH made an entire career about that. I mean, yeah, they have face versus heel, but for the most part, it's like, we're going to have the best match ever. I don't care if it's face versus face. And then no one has a heel turn when the other face wins.
So, after that, we go to the ring, and Chavo! Chavo interrupts, Chemmel to do the introduction for Sin Cara, and says that Sin Cara is following in his footsteps.
So, does that mean we're going to see another, long 3-4 months of Sin Cara jobbing to Hornswoggle?
Oh God, I didn't even think about that possibility.
It means we're gonna see Sin Cara riding around on one of those
somehow?
No, we're gonna see him riding around on one of those little wooden horses on a stick.
I used to be a tag champ.
You used to be an ECW champ. I used to be an ECW champ. What the hell that means?
So our first match of the night for Friday Night SmackDown is Sin Cara versus Daniel Bryan. Did anyone expect this match to be bad? Did anyone expect this match to be bad?
Nope. It couldn't have been. And speaking of face versus face, this was something that the crowd was actually getting into, surprisingly enough.
And Sin Cara is really disproving this really stupid mindset in American pro wrestling that if you're small, you can't be taken seriously.
And the thing about it was that this was not like a high-flying spot fest. This was ground-based, technical wrestling at its finest. Sin Cara and Daniel Bryan were going hold for hold with one of each other. It was just a really good, it was only a 6-minute match.
I mean, and all the fact of the matter is, considering 6 minutes, it it was a very slow pace in the sense that there's a point where Sin Cara was on the mat and Daniel Bryan started working his arm, like started stretching it a little, and the crowd was just clapping. They were just appreciating this.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, how the first opening part of the match, they started countering each other's holds, and like Danielson would sweep his legs and get back on and try to get control again, and then there would be a stop, and then it would just go on like that, and it was just awesome. I loved the transitions. I loved how good they worked, and it showed like a hyper version of the technical ground-based wrestling. It was awesome. Because you got to see Danielson work and do his psychology, and then Sin Cara sped it up a little bit. It was great to see.
Yeah, it was a great contrast of styles. The finish comes when Chavo Guerrero, Dan Bryan's going up to the top rope, and Chavo Guerrero shoves Daniel Bryan. And then the only part I don't like about this match is that he uses the top rope C4 as a finisher right now. And I'm just thinking, like, is he ever going to do that fucking move on Triple H? Is he going to do that move on John Cena? No.
It's a very limited move because you got to know how to take that move, and you can't really use that on big guys. So if he took on like the Big Show, yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
and again, La Mystica is might be off bounds too. I don't think that the multiple rotations will look convincing on the bigger guys any more than the C4 would.
I'm just saying that I'm saying he needs like a quick hitting, high impact finisher, like a lung blower, or I wouldn't say the code breaker because that's Jericho's thing, but he needs like a quick strike kind of finisher.
Well, they can give him a Phoenix Splash, like have him like do an underhook, slam him down, go to the top rope, Phoenix Splash, and then that's the secondary finisher. It's a high flying spot, but it's also easier to move, and all you have to do to take it is lie down and then get back up at the right time to take the move.
Yeah, it's a lot. He needs something, either a move from the top rope to a downed opponent, or like a fast hitting strike move. Top rope C4, it looks pretty on certain guys, but
it's one of those.
Everybody, in my opinion, when it comes to finishes, everybody needs a super finisher that takes a while but is almost always guaranteed to work, except during the hyper big matches, and a finisher that you can do in half a second in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, and then also there's like Homicide. Homicide's main finisher is the Kiku driver, which is he calls the cop killer, and he uses that move. But then there are sometimes guys that want to take that move, so his secondary finisher is the Ace Crusher. And that's really cool because, like, when he busted out the the Ace Cutter, it's like, okay, anyone can take that move. But when he can find somebody who he is facing that can take that move, it's just devastating and it's awesome. And when they use that move, it's more exciting because it's like we rarely get to see it.
One thing we forgot to put over, though, in the match was that obviously Chavo was on commentary throughout the entire thing. It basically consisted of whenever Sin Cara did something where he'd flip around, like the fancy-looking arm drag, Chavo would be like, taught him that.
I was saying during this match that I would have absolutely no problem with the three-man announce team that was Chavo Guerrero, Booker T, and Josh Matthews. I was sitting there listening and like, wow, this is... Because Cole didn't say a whole lot during this match, which I think affected my liking of it just a little bit.
Well, Cole didn't say anything because Cole would not know how to call a match like that. He would just be like, Daniel Bryan's a nerd. Mikura is a international sensation. He wouldn't know how to be like, oh, would you look at the athleticism and that and how they're doing the whole... He would not know how to do that jack shit if you told him how to do... If you told him straight up, okay, do move for move, counter, commentate, just talk about the match.
Yeah, but the finish comes, to get back to that, Daniel Bryan... Chavo pushes Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan crushes himself on the top rope. Sin Cara hits the top rope C4, and 1, 2, 3, Sin Cara wins. And then it was a really interesting thing because they show Sin Cara shaking his head after he sees that Chavo interfered in the match. And Sin Cara's just like, ah! And Chavo's like, yes, I helped you win. Don't you like that?
Stop riding on my coattails, you bitch.
Yeah, that's pretty much Sin Cara's gimmick. Like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Sin Cara's saying stop riding on my coattails, and Chavo's like, ride on my coattails, ride on him.
Come on, I need to get back. Remember when I was teaming with my uncle? It was awesome. Please help me.
And the segment ends with Sin Cara shoving Chavo on his butt, and it was just a really good really good match followed by a really good post-match segment.
I have to say, I'm glad Chavo's getting back into a serious feud, even if he's probably going to lose it, just for the fact that Sin Cara is a far better opponent than Hornswoggle.
And then also, like I said in the last time when we were talking about the possibility of these two guys feuding, we're going to see it's going to be like Chavo Guerrero knows how to lurk the Lucha Libre style, and he's really old school but knows how to do the moves, and I'm pretty sure he keeps tabs on what's going on modern day in Lucha, so he would know how to work Sin Cara's style, and then Sin Cara's a new representation of Lucha, so we get to see like, oh, it's like reminiscent of the WCW Cruiserweight matches, but it's also like this new form of flair because Mystico is a new type of Lucha Libre, different from those guys who work there. So we're going to see shades of the past and awesome possibilities for the future, if used right.
Yeah, you can't hate that. Just all like around. That. All around, you have to like how they're handling this. But moving right along, we take a look back at what happened last week when Zeke beat the Big Show thanks to the core, and Zeke was pissed off. And then we see the big brawl that happens. And the thing that pissed me off about this whole segment is that they show this fucking close-up of Big Zeke being, like, buried underneath that huge whatever it was they dropped on him. He's fucking smiling. What?
I like pain.
Did that beating tickle? The fuck? Don't
smile. Pain only makes my harder. Which a hilariously creepy gimmick if they roll with that, if Zeke just enjoys the pain he suffers.
What, then he's going to start wearing S&M stuff? Let's not have that happen again.
Wait, no, he doesn't need to wear S&M stuff, he just needs to raid wherever they keep the frickin' demolition gear is.
So, he wear S&M gear.
It really has to be said, the 80s were a much more innocent time when that stuff was looked as badass and cool rather than sexually deviant.
But we come back from commercial, and Layla is in the ring, and it's like, oh,
she's cute as a button.
Yeah, she's smoking hot. I mean, she's
adorable.
No, I take that back. I'll do it the classic way. She's a really beautiful woman. Just the kind of woman that, like, you wouldn't leer at on the street, but she'd walk past, you'd be like, holy shit.
Please talk to me. Just say a hello. That's all I ask.
Like, holy
acknowledge my presence.
So basically she comes out and she cuts a promo about how her friendship with Michelle McCool came to an end at Over the Limit, and that she wishes she could still compete, but she actually hurt her knee in the match. And then, of course, we have to have our weekly Michael Cole buries the Divas segment.
Jesus Christ. I thought Russo was bad, but good. Who on earth is
I'm sorry. Michael Cole is fucking annoying.
But
he is not as bad as Russo. Yeah. Sorry. That gets me pissed off.
I am really curious. Who is it in the back? Is it McMahon? Is it Vince? Is it Triple H? Is it John Laurinaitis? Is it Kevin Dunn? Who is it in the back who just thinks that having Cole come out and just fuck with the Divas is such a great idea? I mean, what the hell?
Number two, they're also fucking over one of their demographics. So,
yeah, I mean, what Jingus has told us about Joshi and Japanese, women's wrestling in Japan is that it's not like a whole bunch of guys are watching that. Those companies had thousands upon thousands of adoring female fans, and we know just by the numerous pop culture phenomenons that there have been, from the Beach Boys to the New Kids on the Block to fucking Backstreet Boys to the Jonas Brothers, that there are women are the most devoted fans ever. They never forget. That's why bands like that will sell out arenas long after those guys are out of their prime. Why don't they sell their divas for what they are? If you're gonna call them, smart, sexy, and powerful, Why not build that? Why not try to appeal to a female fan base by having these strong, confident, athletic women wrestle on your show?
I'm going to have to say, unfortunately, I think it's just the wrestling culture that says that men have to be better than women. It's that misogynistic line of thinking, and it's really holding back a lot of great people.
Meanwhile, you have like excellent companies like Shimmer working hard to do everything they can to show that women are athletic and amazing athletes. And then you have ROH showcasing them, and there's a whole scene of very talented women who can't get on TV because they're over talented or whatever. They can't get on TV, but we can display this mediocrity. And then when it's on TV, like when we have women, and let's say their fitness models are bad, it says we're going to put them down. So it just pretty much kills all interest in the hard work that these women who are actually athletes do. And to get back on there.
Because the Divas try. And I know we bag on the Divas a whole lot. But they try. For all intents and purposes, they want to do well. They want to wrestle. They want to entertain they try. I can't imagine going out every night and trying so hard to put people over and shooting ideas to the creative team and trying my damnedest to improve the product as a whole and make someone money just for them to basically say, fuck you, you're worthless.
Right. I mean, a good, strong women's division is like an awesome side dish. Like, yeah, I like steak too, but I like to have peas with my steak or some really nice mashed potatoes. It's an awesome side dish if you just make it worth it. Yeah, sometimes mashed potatoes can suck, but if you put the time and effort to get the seasoning in there right, put some good gravy over it, goddamn, I'm hungry, some garlic in there, it's going to make an overall dish just better.
I wondered why you were milking the hell out of that metaphor.
I don't know, but going back to what I was going to say, though, I will not call Michael...
Magpie, now I gotta go make dinner when we're done. Asshole.
But going back to what Robert Man was saying, and I apologize for interrupting you, bro. I'm sorry. Did you like that? But going back to what I was going to say, Cole was never as bad as Russo because while the Diva division is looked down to, the general consensus is looked down. The Knockouts division was so amazing, and it was just like it was going to rejuvenate women's wrestling.
No, let's not talk about TNA.
No, let me finish. He dismantled it and then had that fucking sign on lockdown. That's all I'm going to say. So Russo is not as bad as Cole. Moving on.
You mean Cole's not as bad as Russo, but moving on.
Right, I mixed up my words, but thank you for correcting me.
So, yeah, but there is actually a payoff this time. I have to give it to them. There was a payoff this time.
Apparently.
Well, you know what? I'll take what I can get with Cole because he seems to be freaking untouchable now. After they have their little thing, Kharma comes out, and she ends up destroying Layla. And then when Cole's laughing his ass off, she turns to Cole, and Cole looks like he just shit himself.
Honestly, just a little bit peeved that you kind of glossed over this, but the reason why Layla wasn't able to, I mean, this is all KB. The reason why Layla wasn't able to run was because Cole tripped her, and in terms of marking out for a heel, that really fucking set me on fire. Like, yeah, I felt like a complete mark at that point because...
But we all know that Michael Cole can never just truly get his ass kicked, you know? Yeah. Because God forbid
I want that to happen.
God forbid we ever see a heel get his fucking comeuppance.
No, but I mean... I would subvert that with, like, what Jerry Lawler did to him, and, like, he tends to get, like...
They had a fucking 10-minute match. They had a 10-minute match at WrestleMania in which Cole went toe-to-toe with one of the legendary wrestlers in the fucking wrestling business. And I know...
And it dragged, it was boring, it sucked.
He to finish, like, he gets his comeuppance, but it's not in the most crucial points.
Why can't they just have a match?
That's why the angle's allowed to continue.
Why can't they just have a match? Michael Cole, Lawler. They could have done this at WrestleMania. Michael Cole, Lawler. Cole tries to get the offense. Lawler lays him out, and instead of pinning him right away, he invites JR, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Daniel Bryan, all the divas. They ring him up, and they hold upside down the ring, and then they pass out sticks and start beating him, and hope Candy falls out. That's a fucking payoff. I'd book that.
God damn it, Magpie, why aren't you working for a major company?
Because I have good ideas. I'm going to put up with mediocrity. If I was in TNA, fired, if I was in WWE, I make a swing at Laurinaitis or some creative guys, and then I get dragged out in handcuffs because I can't put up with bullshit. That's why I can't handle a stable job. I'm amazed I haven't been fired from the dark match.
I think you should just do like a sleeper. I mean, this might ruin your career and your life, but you should just be a sleeper agent for us and go into WWE and just see Vince's reaction for the most absurd storylines and angles you could think of. It's like when, I believe it was Dave Lagana described something and like Vince just took his briefcase and left without saying
if what was that? WWE creative in full disguise, I don't care if I have to wear a corny mustache that's glued on or a weird, ridiculous hat. If I can get away with that, I would do it.
It may have been...
Okay, guys, let's move.
I hate to take this on another tangent, but was that infamous Vince actually just flat out leaving the Nazi suggestion?
Yeah, it was Heidenreich.
There's a Nazi.
Okay, let's move on.
All right. We apologize.
All right, let's get this road on the show, guys.
Anyways, after that, the core is doing something as they cut to commercial, and then we get this beautiful. Did you know that WWE can be seen in many places around the world?
So can my ass, but I don't just put that up on the public thing.
Obvious statement is obvious.
Didn't you say you're 170 pounds? That's not that heavy.
Well, what I mean is I can show it to the world, but I don't choose to. I don't want to. Never mind.
It's not just that. It's that with the invention of the internet, everything is basically global nowadays.
Right. But Kane has double duty this week, and maybe I was speaking so highly about the Mason Ryan match because this one sucked 200 dicks, but but I'm sorry, but like either I'm slowly starting to realize that Wade Barrett just isn't that great of a worker, or they're just not giving him the right people because he and Kane did not. I don't think they were that well.
Well, Barrett's more effective if he's working with a guy who's a little smaller than him. But no, they want to have let's get this big guy, and of course that big guy.
The tragedy that was number one, it was longer than the match on Monday, and number two, it still devolved and broke down into a beatdown.
Well, here's the thing. Genghis has said this before, and I steal a lot of what Genghis says, apparently. I'm realizing that. But Wade Barrett is a big guy who doesn't wrestle like a big guy. He just wrestles like an average size guy. You think back to the best big men in the business, and they wrestle like they're actually fucking, like, bigger than their opponents.
Sheamus.
Yeah. They wrestle like big guys. Wade Barrett is the big guy, but he doesn't wrestle that way. He's just an average worker. And they've done everything.
He's the British Matt Morgan.
That is such a fucking apropos fucking statement. Wow.
You've awakened a sleeping god.
In this episode, we say the most off-ball things.
But he's absolutely right. He's a British Matt Morgan. He's just so average. He doesn't work like a big man. He's not really a great wrestler. And they've done everything they possibly could to push him. You know, and I will say this. I will say this. I thought that this was a segment that, after weeks of the core being just damned ineffective, just like, what is even the fucking point of putting them on TV? After weeks and weeks and weeks of that, they actually look competent and strong and dominant here. And I will say that the match ends in a clusterfuck. The core beats down Kane, and then Big Zeke comes out. And Zeke gets the upper hand temporarily, but then the core starts to dominate him, and then we see Justin Gabriel give him that devastating 450 splash. It was like they actually gave a shit.
But you know, the way that seemed to me though was that they're like, oh, we haven't done this kind of beatdown in months, and I guess people don't remember it, so we'll bring it back.
Yeah,
like they didn't know how to make the core look dominant, so they didn't. But then again, like that may not be the reason. We'll talk about
forbid they win matches and build their credibility that way.
Yeah, we'll talk about this next fairly throwaway, but nonetheless interesting because it might produce another good worker segment. Great Khali and Ranjan Singh in the ring, and they both have cowboy hats on, and they're going to revive the Kiss Cam segment.
Stupid.
It's another opportunity for them to make fun of fat people.
Oh my god!
Stupid fucking 7-foot giant.
What? That's one thing that I'll never get about both TNA and WWE, that they will waste their times burying themselves to bury others rather than trying to get other people over. It's so confusing.
Well, speaking of getting other people over, we have been introduced for the past 2 weeks to Jinder Mahal, and now they're referring to him by name, and he's basically like what we think the angle is how it's going to go is that he's calling out Khali for being a fucking stupid, like for not being the mammoth that he was when he started out.
I think it's more I think where they're gonna go with it is like, dude, you're a fucking insult to our race. You're out here in a fucking cowboy hat doing fucking kiss cam, really? Is that how?
Guys, I just had a.
Yeah, you should be a doctor, or an engineer, or a Bollywood star like the rest of us.
Guys, I just had a horrifying thought. If they take Khali seriously, we could see an Ezekiel Jackson match versus the Great Khali.
Well, of course they take Khali seriously because
honestly,
you know how freaking over he is in his home country of India. Holy crap! I mean, they re-edit the shows he's on to make him look like the dominant face.
He usually is. They pair him up with jobbers when they put him, but like he's not on Raw anymore, so they don't have use for someone who's not on SmackDown, who's not so. Oh wait, I'm eating my words right now. I don't even want it, but to go off not on a tangent, but just for a one-liner for a So Bad It's Good match, I want to see Khali versus Eli Cottonwood.
That's like Mantos the Hands of Fate in a match.
Just a battle of lumbering tall men. But
oh my god.
Anywho.
It's like Manos the Hands of Fate versus The Room in a match.
No, The Room is amazing. I'm not comparing The Room to that movie.
A Go-Go, because that actually had a wrestler in it.
It did. That movie stunk. Thank you, Mystery Science Theater.
At any rate, we go to commercial. We come back from commercial. Cody Rhodes makes his way to the ring, and he's got the fucking guys with the paper bags. Still, we're still doing the paper bag thing.
The problem is people love those paper bags. They want those paper bags.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of the whole thing when they're handing out paper bags.
There's actually something kind of sad that during the match they showed one of the kids with the paper bags on his head, and he took it off briefly, and he had like noticeable freckles, and then Cole started making fun of him. And it's like, oh,
Cole, but seriously,
Cole's making fun of the way how people looks. Look at that goofy looking bastard. He has like the weirdest collection of awful tattoos done by some tattoo artist who doesn't know what he's doing.
But going back to the paper bags for a second, it really defeats when Cody Rhodes is like, you're all ugly on the inside and the outside. You should wear these paper bags to symbolize it. And you see the crowd going, give me those paper bags, man!
But yeah, it's funny the way Cody puts it. He's like, nobody in this arena or in the WWE is exempt from wearing these bags. Not even a priceless friend. He ends it to Ted, and Ted's like, the fuck are you doing? Get that shit away from me.
Yeah, I'm still good looking, you disfigured fuck. Look at my girlfriend, see?
Has all the talent in that group.
I would have welcomed the interaction between them, but like Ted didn't get a word in edgewise. Just thinking of Ted.
Yeah, but that's because he's Ted. Nobody cares about Ted.
No arguments there.
It's like I said, it's amazing when your gimmick has been done better by like 3 different people. One of them is still doing it right now.
But
I mean, like, what would you rather see? Ted DiBiase or JBL, for example? JBL, I'd go so far as to say that he was the same level as the original $1 Million Man.
Yeah. Yeah, Ted just hasn't found his way yet. They haven't found a gimmick that is gonna work for him, mostly because he doesn't have any personality. They should pair him with Eve Torres and just call them the personality black holes. Twice the suck for the power of one.
Coming to the ring in this tag match is the charisma, the negative charismas, or the void of interest.
To get into this match, though, it was 4 minutes. It didn't really lead to anything, but I have to say these two know each other damn well, and they work pretty smoothly despite their limitations. The finish came when Ted tried for the Cobra Clutch Slam, but Cody throws him away, chuck kicks the fuck out of him, and then gives him the Crossroads.
So I have to say, did anybody think Ted was going over in this match?
No.
I never thought that Ted DiBiase would end up being the Jannetty.
No kidding.
And he's actually really talented. Not Cody Rhodes talented, or Born talented, but good.
Said all that stuff with Bob Holly beforehand.
Well, yeah, teaming Cody with Bob Holly was not a fair example of his talent.
Oh yes.
Because Bob Holly, he brings people down with him.
Yeah, actually, the Arrow kind of reminded me of something. He mentioned that Ted had new red tights, and you know what? He did. He had a new logo on the back of it, and the T kind of looked like Triple H's Iron Cross. Or that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's just like fire there, Ted.
I was looking at that. I was like, why the fuck did he get those tights? That's not his gimmick.
Wait, why are you guys checking out his tights?
and he's going to show up next month with white ones.
There's nothing wrong with looking at men's butts in wrestling.
What about the Pope, No Leaf?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No, not that. I didn't say bare butts. I said butts.
But you said wrestlers' asses in the middle of a match. So if he exposes his ass in the middle of a match, then it's okay to check it out.
Right along, we go to our next segment, which is Match Striker in the backstage interview.
I love this one.
And he's interviewing the Core, and
is it just me, or are they giving the Core a lot of time on this show for some reason?
Yeah, they are, but to describe this, it's hilarious just for the very last part where Stryker's like, what kind of statements do you intend to make? And Barrett's like, we've been making statements for weeks. We took out Ezekiel Jackson, and to prove that we're the dominant ones, I, Wade Barrett, am going to challenge Zeke to a match at Over the Limit. And then, like, Slater, they pan over to Slater, and he goes, hey, Wade, why don't you make it for your belt, herp derp? And he's like, you know what? I'm going to do that.
But he gives him just, like, the most fuck you kind of look.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck did you just say? Okay, I'll do it.
Damn it, I wanted to see Danielson versus Barrett for the
now I have to do it.
Damn.
It might happen eventually. You never know.
Barrett Danielson title, make it happen, please, God.
If he still has the belt, like, the angle could book itself. I'm actually kind of scared that they'll give it right to Zeke, but
Of course they're giving it to Zeke. You don't think that... Frig, they gave Zeke the final ECW championship, if you remember that.
Well, thank God that belt's credibility died a long time ago before they gave him the belt.
Yeah, it was Christian who was holding it before.
Oh, right. Damn, that sucked. I remember now. Thanks, Revolver Man.
Putting the belts on Zeke. Don't think...
Oh. And the sad thing, too, is when the Zeke gets the belt, that's when Danielson's going to get a title shot for the IC champion. That's when St. Charles is going to get a shot for the IC champion. That's when all the guys who should have that fucking belt.
Okay. Let's move on. Because the main event of the night is Christian and Randy Orton versus Mark Henry
Yin and Yang.
Yin and Yang, Ebony and Ivory, Red Oni and Blue Oni.
Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder.
I'm going to call them Bacardi and Cola.
Phil Collins and Charlie Wilson.
Okay, enough. We can be here all night.
Chris, you're my friend, but never mention Phil Collins' name again in the Dark Match.
That was a good song, sir. I don't like Phil Collins either, but that's a good song.
Phil Collins doesn't produce jack shit. But moving on.
Easy lover. Come on. We're almost done.
Phil Collins.
Move on. What did everyone think of this match?
Once again, listeners,
I didn't like it.
Guys, if you were not expecting DarkMatch the Music Edition.
Oh, that CD will come out soon.
Yeah, we'll sing Na 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 better than Edge. But, either way, I didn't like this match very much. I blame Mark Henry, but then again, like, I think it started off, like, promising the first, like, 3 to 5 minutes, and then it just kind of, like...
You mean Mark Henry didn't have the talent to hang with Sheamus, Christian, and Randy Orton? Oh, no. Get out of town.
I mean, I thought they'd use them for the proper spots, like your clotheslines, your strikes, and your slams, but yeah.
I still say the best part of the match was when Michael Cole, Sheamus doesn't know what it's like to fail or experience. I'm like, are you kidding? Have you seen his last 2 world title reigns? That's failure right there.
Have you seen him job entirely to his feud with frickin' Kevin Dunn?
Yeah. Sheamus isn't the one that knows how to... Or Sheamus is the one that doesn't know how to fail. It makes...
John Cena, I'm the WWE champion, and you're never getting it back. Ah!
That was just a stupid statement. Yeah, this match was... I don't think it was bad. It was just kind of like... completely and utterly unmemorable. Just...
kind of a shame with all the talent there, ignoring Henry. But the 2 best guys were on the same side, which kind of limits things, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they kind
this is a 2-segment match. They go to a commercial during it. And anybody want to refresh my memory on what happens at the finish?
Essentially, it was kind of triumphant. Orton and Christian counter any kind of offense, and Christian hits the kill switch on Sheamus while Orton hits an RKO on Henry, and they give Christian the rub by allowing him to pin.
You know what? I'm actually, have to admit, I'm feeling better about Orton because that whole face but a heel gimmick bugged me on Raw, and if he can act more like this on SmackDown, I think I could like him more.
Just accept him for who he is.
And
don't treat him like
I will take back the things I say about him being an unprofessional dickbag because that was years ago, and as far as we know, that hasn't happened since like 2008.
Dickbag.
He was a bag of dicks.
Majority professionalism.
But that's my catchphrase. If there's a pro wrestler who's really bad behind the stage, he's a bag of dicks. Anyway, so yeah, Christian and Orton win, and they shake hands as we cut out SmackDown, and that, as such, was SmackDown. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there was a good episode of SmackDown. Really great match.
Good show.
Good undercard matches. Kind of disappointing.
I don't want to. Sorry.
I apologize. Good undercard matches. Sort of a disappointing main event. Thought it was better than Raw. That wasn't saying too much.
The only thing I found weird, and I don't want to say bad, I found it weird, was just how much time they were giving the core, considering kind of how much they've ignored them. Some of them all this time.
Yeah, that was the kind of weird part of it.
They're doing something with the core, but if they're not, then what the hell?
But, fair viewers, it's that time, once again, for us to play our favorite game. What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal?
Yeah!
Dig it!
I call the first one.
Okay.
Don't overload it like Chris does.
My acceptance of Randy Orton gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
Oh, getting meta here, are we?
It got meta when we said Jay Lethal gets more screen time than Jay Lethal when it was true.
Let's see. What gets more screen time than Jay Lethal? You want to know what gets more screen time than Jay Lethal? Layla's perfect cleavage gets more screen time than Jay Lethal, and I am not complaining this week.
Woo! Anyway,
let's say you shouldn't perv out on her when we were talking about her.
Oh, I decided to perv out anyways.
Herp Derp Heath Slater gets more screen time than
Misogyny on the grandest scale gets more time than Jay Lethal.
This isn't a TNA show, Magpie.
Oh, right. I don't know.
Cody Rhodes paper bags get more screen time than Jay Lethal.
No, Cody Rhodes.
Ted DiBiase's Trunks gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
And that's sad.
I have to add to No Leafs. Cody Rhodes is freaking I lost my train of thought, you assholes.
Cody Rhodes.
Interruption. Oh God, the Canadian's pissed. Run.
I'm gonna say this, and if we're gonna have to be here for another freaking hour, I'm gonna say it. Cody Rhodes' paper bag is getting more over than every face on SmackDown gets more screen time than Jay Lethal.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, we must end tonight, especially since it's starting to rain really, really fucking hard outside my house, and we might lose connection. As usual, I'm No Leaf Clover.
I'm the revolver.
I'm Christopher Says.
I'm Magpie.
And I'm the Revolver Man. Good night and good luck. And we
yeah. She loves you, yeah.
Damn it. We suck.
Love you, yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.